Hello and welcome back to Penwescombe Farm on Bessy Beneath. So it's day 4, mid-spring. Temperature's still a little bit low on the ground, so we're at 4 degrees, so we can't really do any sowing yet, which is a little bit unfortunate. And it's also really early, so it's 6:30, and I'm just looking around the farm, getting my bearings of what to do next. Still got plenty of lime, luckily. I'm hoping that'll last me out now. Pretty much, we don't need to worry about lime at all, but I think probably the next job, if we can just hop over this fence. There we go. Yeah, so the next job I'm thinking of doing is trying to get some of the fields prepared, especially the grass ones, with a bit of slurry and maybe some of the manure. We haven't got much, but we might have enough to do 1 load of slurry and hopefully 1 load of manure. And that's what I'm aiming to do, even if it's just on the one grass field. And then what I'm thinking of doing is just going around and spreading a little bit of fert, solid fert, on the fields, just so they're ready. I think then we're really not going to be doing much else with these two fields, just field 6 and field 25. And as you can see, they definitely need a bit of fertilizer. Field 4 and field 9, I've decided that they're definitely going to be 2 fields of barley. I think that's a good choice for the first crop. So they will need some fertilizer, but I'm probably just going to do solid fert on these 2 fields when we've actually planted. So because we haven't got much manure and slurry, I'm hoping that it might do field 25, and then I think the rest is going to have to be solid fert. So let's crack on. I'm going to be using the Massey 5713 to do the actual carting around, and then I need the 390T front loader to obviously pick up the manure. So let's quickly just hop over. I think first things first, we'll hop over to the 5713 and we'll get cracking with doing a bit of slurry spreading first, because I think that's going to be the easiest thing to start with anyway. Really enjoying this map, really am. Kind of just enjoying using a bit of small equipment, and I think it works perfectly as well when you're actually starting off with a steering wheel. I do need to do some cleaning up here. Still got plenty of feed. Water's okay, I've checked that. In fact, what I'll quickly just do is I might just get the broom out and clean this up now. So as you can see, they're pretty sound. They don't need much, they just need cleaning up. So let's get this broom out, clean up some of this mess they've made. I don't know how they get it over here, let's be honest. If the trough's over there, they must be throwing it. And there we go, last little bit, job done. Oh, there we go. So let's jump back in and we'll get hooked up. And we'll try and do field 25 first, the smallest one. I think that's the best idea anyway. And I'm actually getting a little bit more of an understanding with the wheel now. I feel like when I'm reversing in, I'm doing pretty well. I'm trying to actually open up this, but every time I do, it's jumping me into the tractor, which is really strange, because usually it doesn't trigger from that far away. So let's just see if we can... That is strange. It's the same button as well. It doesn't help. So let's just see if I can do it with my mouse. There you go. That's what I needed to do. Finally got there in the end. So let's just start the pump going. Now, if I remember rightly, this should hold. I will just double check, because I can't remember exactly. Yeah, 8,000. So I don't know if we're going to fill up. Not really. Well, definitely not going to fill up, but there's going to be some in there for us to at least get going. I think it was around 3,000 litres, somewhere over 3,000. So there we go, we're at 44%, not full, so about half a tank. I think that'll be fine. So let's just close that off. We can drop that off here, that'll be fine. And then what I will do is make sure I don't drive over that, hopefully. I did a little bit. Right, so let's head over to field 25, see how long this lasts. It probably isn't not going to last too long. but we'll see how far we can get. I've also put in a new mod, which is like this trip counter at the bottom, which is pretty cool because it actually takes into account the whole distance this tractor's going to travel. So it won't reset, it will take into account the amount of miles I've done, and I do like the fact that it's in miles and not kilometres. I did used to use another one where it came up as a bit of a grey box. You've probably seen it in previous series, and yes, it's it is good and it does the job, but with this being obviously a bit different and offering in miles, I do like it. It's something different and it fits really well on the actual display down at the bottom. So let's get cracking with this, and hopefully this will work a treat. It is going down pretty quick. There's a few bits I've missed there. That's not too good. We'll have to sort that out probably in the future. Not yet. We'll have to let this field probably grow in a couple of times, but it will require ploughing probably at some point maybe, and we'll fix it. As it's definitely not going to go far, is it? Already at 11%. Probably a little bit early to do this, but with the temperature not being too right, I just wanted to try and use up as much as possible instead of using as much of the fertilizer. But as you can see, it's not really done much. But saying that, what it will do is stop us from using as much solid fert, which should save us in the long run, hopefully. So let's go and get the manure spreader attached, and then I'll bring down the 390T and we'll just use whatever's left. There's a little bit more manure and obviously slurry, so because I've been giving them straw. That's the one thing I've actually never agreed with when it comes to seasons. Most farms will have slurry and manure, even if you give them straw bedding, because obviously, especially milking farms, they usually scrape out and then you'll get quite a lot of slurry. Whereas the bedding's obviously then going to give the manure. So it is a little bit strange, something that I do disagree with. But hey ho, with seasons, that's how it works. But then again, in FS22, that might be a bit different. Who knows? It might actually, with the seasons inbuilt in that game, it might give you the option of having both, which is what I think is the most realistic way to do it. I have to be careful with this front loader. I've noticed that it's a bit fidgety when it's not attached. As you can see, it's bobbing up and down. Sometimes it doesn't want to actually connect too well. I think it always starts off in a slightly awkward position. Right, so there we go. That's that. And then I will back up this massive weight that I've bought that works a treat when I'm hauling big bags. So we may as well use it. It's probably going to be a bit too much, a bit of overkill, but you never know. I'll still do the job. You can see that the back end tips a little bit, but I think it's better than tipping forward when we fill the bucket up. This shouldn't take too long as well. This bucket holds 3,000 litres, so it definitely won't take too long at all. I've parked it the wrong place, that's how much I know. I've actually parked it over there. So I will bring that forward. Let's just get a bucket load. 0.8 metric tons, that's how much it's got in the bucket. But it is a 3,000 litre traditionally. So I think the best way to do is just maybe go up the ramp a little bit. I don't know if that's going to have an impact on when I'm loading, but we'll find out. Should be fine. There's plenty of room there. And it's a nice small spreader, perfect for the equipment I've got and perfect for this farm. I think it actually looks a little bit too clean for what it's supposed to do, so we need to get it dirty just so it fits in. Definitely soon will. I might also clean out the grass in this pit because I think it'll look better if it's just clear. A little bit closer, and I clipped it. So it's definitely got a scratch on it already. I am enjoying playing with the Massey Fergusons though. I have to say that the Masseys, something that I haven't used that much of, but I am liking the difference with the Massey Ferguson. And I think what I will do is I'll stick to it as well. I was thinking of getting at some point maybe a bit of a fast track, JCB fast track. I think it'd suit this playthrough quite well. So maybe there's a hidden collision there, I'm sure of it. Yeah, so the fast track I think maybe we could get for doing a bit of carting, selling grain, something really good at that, and then we'll stick to the Masseys, and when we do want to upgrade to a bit more power, we'll just get a better and more modern version of the Massey. I do like that 5713 though. I think it's really nimble, perfect for this farm. So we could maybe attach a front loader to it and swap it out for the 390T for the jobs that it does, and then we'll get a bit more power, and that can be what we do to upgrade on equipment wise going forward. Sounds like a plan. Right, so that's pretty much everything that was in the pit, and I think it's all going to fit. So what I'll do is I'll park the 390T. I am going to use the 140 to do the fert spreading. I'll easily do it, but I might need the 390T for the big bags. So let's get this sorted now. And I don't know if I'm going to make it around there, but we can have a go. Definitely drop down that hill, but I think I might have just done that. Happy days. There we go. So we've got 3 metric tons of manure sitting in the spreader. So hopefully this go a little bit further than what the slurry spreader did, because it technically holds a little bit more anyway. So even though it says 77%, it is still more, but we'll see. It's definitely not going to do the whole field, but it might do a little bit extra. I think if we just try and carry on from where we were, it's a bit strange to have some slurry and then some manure, I will say that. So I think we were probably about here. Remember to unfold it, there we go. Did double up there. Well, that's not too bad. So talking about the mod that I was on about earlier, the actual trip down at the bottom, tallying the actual distance the tractor's doing. So I've done 1 mile, but you can reset that. So at the top, just under where it says 12 miles per hour, there is 1 mile, and I think that's the main one. So that is something that you can't reset. And that'll tally up. So hopefully by the end of the series we'll have some good information of how much time and how much distance the tractors have done. Not only the hours, but also, yeah, the distance. I think that's pretty cool. And if I just tab along over to the tractor, you can now see that it says 6 hours, or 6.3 hours. I'm just waiting for that to fill out. There you go. Yeah, so 6.3 hours, and it's done 1 mile since we installed this mod. So I do like that. So at the end I am hoping for a little bit more information, and yeah, I think it'll look pretty good. Right, so that's that. It wasn't much at all, but it's pretty much done the headland for us anyway. So we've saved a bit of money in what we'd probably use in fertilizer. But we do need the cows to do a bit more work when it comes to giving us a bit more manure and slurry. And I think they have ran out of straw, so we could give them a bit more, but what I'll do is I'll hold off doing that and I'll let them generate a bit of slurry, because I think we generate quite a bit of slurry, and it'll go far. I'm just going to park it over here because it's a little bit easier for me. There we go, that should be fine. I don't think it's very level, but it'll do the job. Right, so let's just go park this up. I might just leave it here actually, just so I can jump into the 390T and go and get the big bag on it. Let's go get the big bag lifter attachment on the front, pick up a big bag of fertilizer, and then we can drive the 135 just under it, and we can get going with some solid fert. Now I am running, I think I said it at the start, but I am running in 9-day seasons at the moment. So I usually do 6, but I thought I'd give it a little bit more for this playthrough and just see how it gets on. Big bag lifter is definitely over here, so I'll take the bucket with me and just drop it off here. There we go. Now, if I remember rightly, that bag over there with my logo on is the solid fert. There we go. So we haven't really got much solid fert, but we have got a lot of liquid, which I will be using on the barley, but I do want to tend to just use maybe solid fert and, well, hopefully just manure and slurry on the grass fields. I don't really want to be spraying much on them fields. There we go. So it's time for the 140. I do love this tractor, really do, especially with the steering wheel. I have to say it's even better. It works a treat. Now, one thing I didn't tell you is, as I was doing the lime spreading in the previous episode, what I did was spend a bit of money from the cash we obviously generated from the grain that was in the silo, and I decided that even though the spreader I had was alright, it was pretty decent for what it was doing, it just didn't hold too much for me. And when I was obviously doing that much lime, it struggled. I had to refill it a lot, and the auger came in handy. But what I did was I bought this little beast, and it's got probably the spread's a little bit less. It's not too much less than the previous one. I will just show you. There it is. So the spread's now 12 meters, but it does hold 3,200 litres, which is a lot more than what the previous one did. I think before I was actually loading the spreader 4 times from one bag. Just around that. It was around that anyway. So this will now hold 1 full bag and a little bit extra. So I think pretty much we're only going to need to fill up once with this now. And as you can tell, the 140 does pull it. It does do a good job. So it can still handle it. And yeah, there you go, 1 bag. So we won't need to keep coming back as much and refilling. Now I don't know how far this bag's going to go, but what I'll probably do is do a bit of a montage as I get started. And if I do need to go and buy another couple of big bags, I'll go and do it. And I'll, yeah, crack on with it. But I'm hoping that this will now last me for the majority of the field. That's the aim anyway. So what I am going to do is just go around the headlands again, because of the fact that I do want it to get fully fertilised. And as you can see, that the spread is a lot less. But it is also lasting a lot longer. We're still at 62%, so that's pretty good going. So if I'm taking a guess now, it's probably not going to last both fields. So I will go and get probably another couple big bags, and then we'll definitely have enough then. Even though this thing holds a lot more, the only downside, like I said, is the fact that the spread's a lot less. But with me pulling the 140, I think it's not too bad. These fields aren't that big as well, so if we can do a couple of headland passes, I think it won't be a massive job after that. And fertilising the grass is going to make a massive difference to either the hay or the silage we do from these fields. Probably do a bit of silage at first, but depends on the temperature really. If we have a really good spell, drying conditions are well, we might do hay first. But I think the main thing is to get our yield maximised as quick as possible. So I think what I'll do, because it's actually lasting quite a while, I'll do a little time lapse now of me doing this field, and then I'll probably jump back in, and if I need to go and get some more fertilizer and then do the other field, I'll do that as a montage. Right, so there we go, that's field 25 all done, and we're still at 39%, so overall that definitely went well. So let's go and get the next grass field done. And I think then we'll be good, and then all we're going to have to do is pretty much wait for the temperature to rise by 1 more degrees, and we can start getting the ball in the ground. I'm surprised I've only done 1.88 miles, well 89 now. When you're up and down on a field like that, it should, I thought it'd be a little bit more, but this is where we're at, so I'm glad that it's ticking along though. I do like keeping track of that. I think it does make a good difference, it really does. Right, so let's crack on with this. We'll do another headland pass, and then I'll probably do some up and down rows. It's got no GPS, so I'm doing it all by hand. But it's probably even impossible to get GPS on a 140. You'd probably have to use Google Maps on your phone somehow. And as you can see, field 6 is a lot bigger than the other field. It's still a medium-sized field, regular-sized field, but at this kind of width it is going to take a little bit longer, and hopefully the 36% that we've got left in will be enough and will get us through, because it is going to consume a bit more, especially on the headland, because we haven't put any slurry or manure down. There's a lot of grass fields around here as well, so maybe at some point we might have to convert a few of these when we buy them, and then we'll do a bit more arable, or we could try and sell quite a bit of silage bales. Either way, we're doing okay. Really, the money that we had from the grain already in the silo has helped tremendously. It really has. I mean, it's technically bought this piece of kit that we've got now, which makes life a lot easier when it comes to the amount of trips we need to do. If we do need to fill an auger up for lime, I think I won't fill the auger up for anything but lime and a grain type that we're harvesting. I think it makes sense. Some weeds popping up as well, so we do need to keep an eye on that. I will be using the spray for that, definitely the sprayer, and hopefully I won't be doing it too much in the grass field. and I'll try and just keep on top of it on the barley fields. I think we can make do with a bit of weeds in the grass. Right, so I think what I'm going to do now is stick a little montage in and me finishing off this field, and then I'll cut back in when it's all done. And we'll take a recap of what we've done and then what the plan is going forward onto the next video. Right, so there we go. That's both grass fields all done. I did need to go and buy 2 extra big bags of fert. I've emptied one into the back of here and it's still at 52%, so this is probably going to have a bit of fert in now for a while, which is not a problem because we've got plenty of lime on the fields and it won't need lime probably for another 2, I'd say this harvest and next harvest. So going into year 3 is probably when I'm going to need to spread lime again, so we've got plenty of time. So let's quickly just go and park up the actual spreader out the way, and then we'll have a little bit of recap, look at the fields, and I think we'll be done for the episode. There we go, that should be fine there. I do like this spreader. I think it's just perfect for what we're doing. It's not too big and it's also a bit of an upgrade on the capacity, so I'm definitely happy with it. So let's just have a quick look at the field then. So we'll go to precision farming and you can see the nitrogen is pretty much maxed out, which is good for the grass that we've got in, so we are now maximising our potential yield. Lime spread, so that's all sorted. pH is fine, nitrogen's fine. We obviously ploughed and sowed the grass in, which is going to boost it as well. So all we need to do in the next episode is wait for 5 degrees to hit, and then we can get the barley in the ground, and then we can start thinking about doing some fertilizer on that. And then all we're going to be doing then is doing some silage, a bit of hay, and then waiting for the first year's harvest. But on that note, I am going to leave the video there. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help my channel out. And if you're new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator.